Okay, so it seems like we have an update on the whole Saruei situation. Now, this was really quick because obviously I made a video about this a couple of hours ago, but it seems like she's already replied, and obviously, as I said, she was online for a little bit and talking on Twitter while this was all kind of going up, but I think she was kind of cooking up this Google Doc, which has actually come out regarding a lot of the stuff that's been going on. Now, if you guys aren't up to date, you guys can watch the past video, but essentially what's happened is a person over at a site, a forum site, a popular site, which has a popular rule, let's just say, and essentially what they've said is that, Saruei was taking down fan art and things from this forum, and that, obviously Saruei did also actually respond to the first kind of claim that they made, and they were saying that they were taking down the ones that were locked behind a paywall, which obviously I think is fair enough. If it's locked behind a paywall and people are then spreading it on these forums and these sites, then obviously you have every right to take it down. But this person obviously went ahead and claimed on their own Google Doc that apparently they were taking down a lot of fan art made by people, and it was never commissioned, and that obviously Saruei didn't commission me, I don't want the pics removed, stuff like that. So again, it was made by completely other people, even though it was a kind of picture of her. Now, a lot of people in my comment section were saying like, well, she has every right to take down pictures if it is of her character, which is 100% true, but they also argue here that you should go about it in a different way rather than DMCA takedowns and more of an IP kind of law thing, which again obviously would be a better way to handle it. But essentially, yes, Saruei put out a response here saying regarding the rule, DMCA's slander and misinformation. And yeah, I mean, they released this whole Google Docs about 6 pages long, and I have actually got this version here where essentially there is a couple of images in there which might get me bonked by YouTube. So I've just literally added a black screen there, so that's the only difference between these two documents. I just needed to go through and replace them because, again, I don't want to get absolutely screwed by YouTube here. But they say, Slayer Ducky, the rule owner / admin, has repeatedly claimed that I'm sending DMCA notices against every single piece of fan art online, even though I've clearly stated on Twitter that I only target leaked fansly / Patreon paywall content and commission artwork that I personally paid for, which obviously I think, is totally fine. If it's paywalled content, then Saruei is totally in their own right to, take down this content. Let's say he portrays it as if I go after all fan arts, when in reality, the only thing I report are paywall content on Rule 34, Danboru, Jaboru, and sometimes even Reddit. Because these uploads that are usually reposts from users, not the original artists themselves. I don't target artists creating fan art of me. I'm an artist myself, and I love sharing art with everyone. And obviously, obviously that is in response to a bit that they put into their kind of document, the previous one, saying that she does not care about your fan art and stuff like that. It said, I even have dedicated art tags in my Twitter bio for my community and supporters for both safe and not safe for work content. Whenever a fan art is made by the artists themselves, I post it directly in my dedicated fan art channels in my Discord, always with direct links so people can support the original creators. Sometimes I love their work and commission them, which obviously, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Saruei does have, art tags up here. It's obvious that, she does allow fan art. It's not, what they were trying to make it out to be. I did think that was a little bit of a weird statement in this doc, saying that she didn't care about your fan art and things. She obviously does, if she does have these dedicated channels, these dedicated hashtags, everything like that. It's obviously, clear that she does. And I even said in my previous video, it's probably some kind of misunderstanding or trying to twist the truth to make Saruei seem worse. And I think that is literally what has just gone on here. Now, they say this dispute with Rule 34 has been going on for over a year now. During this time, my own followers have reached out to me and my Discord moderator sharing instances of my leaked content on his site, and occasionally on other sites as well. Each time I've reported these leaks to CAM Model Protection. If they deleted fan arts from Rule 34 that I haven't claimed, that was done without my permission and knowledge. As you can see, these are messages of me asking to remove individual links, and today I even reached out to CAM Model to reiterate that they should only remove fansly leaks that I've personally reported, while all other fan art is untouched, and also communicate directly with Slayer Ducky to resolve the situation. So again, good response there. I think obviously it doesn't change much from what Slayer Ducky was saying, because obviously they were saying that everything was being taken down, and that is still the case. Everything was being taken down, but it wasn't necessarily due to Saruei's fault. Saruei wasn't the one that was purposely going after these fan artists and stuff, because again, she literally reported the ones that were leaking the stuff behind a paywall, and then this company, Camel to Protect, were just getting rid of all of them because better safe than sorry kind of thing. But obviously that's not what Saruei wanted. Again, I do think that was a bit of a miscommunication, and I said it would have been something that wasn't actually as like nefarious as you think it would be. It is literally just this company accidentally taking down a lot more posts. And even here, you know, they say that they're working, or that they asked them to communicate directly with Slayer Ducky, the kind of admin over there, to get these posts back up, or to resolve the situation, or to kind of leave a lot of the fan art untouched, because I think it was the case that, you know, they just accidentally took them down, and that's not what Saruei wanted. They wanted the specific links that they shared, you know, and obviously they even shared the messages that they sent to them saying, hi dear Saruei, thank you for reaching out and bringing this to our attention. Obviously they said, of course, it was never our intention for the content that does not need to be removed to be taken down. So obviously, yeah, they were going to, you know, take a look at it and sort that out, which obviously is great. And I think that is a great kind of, you know, response to this situation. They say, there is an example of how reporting each of the paywall content. As you can see here, you can see all of these links that they obviously included, pretty much, yeah, specifically going after specific posts that were leaking paywalled content, which is fine. Totally okay. That's like, you know, totally valid, because obviously it is behind a paywall and they've commissioned it, or they drew it themselves or whatever. And it's, you know, obviously being leaked on these kind of websites. It said, you know, she acknowledges, so she then proceeds to slander the platform for being a piracy website in a 6-minute rant. It's an absolute joke that we're being labeled by Saruei as a piracy website, considering we do not allow paid content on our platform and ban users for uploading it. Now, Saruei says he claimed that Rule 34 is not a piracy website. However, most users uploading paywall content there are not the original artist or creators themselves, where some of them may be free content or preview to highlight paywall content. There's also leaks, such as my case. The site even has entire tags dedicated to Fansly and Patreon content, titled Patreon Reward, Patreon League. Many VTubers and artists, myself included, have posted our work there, often without our knowledge or consent. Even when content is reported and removed, it inevitably gets re-uploaded, as happened to me repeatedly. This means I'm being forced to submit a separate DMCA claim for every single instant, even if it's the exact same image or video, which, yeah, obviously I think this is more down to the case of they need to kind of moderate their site better. I think, you know, Rule 34 need to moderate the site better, and they need to kind of look at some of these posts, look at these tags, for example, like Patreon leak, and, you know, kind of remove the ability for anybody to even use that tag in the first place, and just kind of create a better moderation system so it is better. I wouldn't class them as a piracy site. Obviously, yes, piracy does occur on the site, but I don't think that is their main goal. I honestly, you know, I don't really think that is the case. But obviously, at the same time, there is a lot going on there, and they need to do better to kind of, you know, moderate it so that, you know, piracy does not occur on that site. So again, definitely a valid concern from Saruei there. Obviously, they said as well, he says he removes content within 24 hours only if it's reported, meaning that no DMCA request is submitted. The leaked content simply remains on the site, which again is obviously something they need to improve on. They said a website claiming it's not a piracy website takes down paid content immediately and doesn't wait for a DMCA, which is usually used as a last resort. So essentially what she's saying there is that the only time they really take it down is due to a DMCA, which is definitely interesting. And obviously, yeah, that should be policed much more better, you know. And obviously, you can see here, they even put up the kind of search bar for how many search results there are for each of these kind of different tags. And you can see like Patreon Reward, Patreon Exclusive, they have, you know, thousands. So again, they are not moderating that correctly. And, you know, there's still plenty of posts up there. They said, still, a lot of my Fansly videos, paywall content again, are up today and accessible. And this is one of the ones where I've censored it out because, again, it was a pretty spicy page, I'm going to be honest. But obviously, you know, trust me, there was tons of images of fan art that was paywalled that were there. Obviously, I'll leave a link in the description to this kind of doc if you want to look through it yourself. But again, obviously, yeah, there was stuff there. And yeah, they even post a link to where you can actually see it. They said, regarding what he said here, you know, his tweet, I don't exactly know what his tweet was. I didn't even see it, actually. But apparently they put out a tweet as well, which says, this seems to be a commonly misunderstood thing. Oh, this is about the Fansly and Patreon meta tags as a way to point towards, you know, paid content. But they said you can find VTubers, Patreon, Fansly paywall content on Rule 34, not just me, such as FeFe, for example. And then they put up FeFe, and they said, hey, FeFe, do you have a minute, please? They said, yeah, what's up? They said, this is leaked art for your Fansly account, right? It's not a free preview. And they said, yeah, it's got the Fansly URL at the bottom, so it means it's taken from my page. And obviously, yeah, they're talking about the fact that FeFe has also had a lot of stuff leaked too. They say, I could have bought more testimonies from other creators. Most people don't go after Rule 34 publicly, but I did because I truly hate feeling helpless, especially if it's affecting my friends, which yeah, I think if this is a big problem, and you know, a lot of these kind of pages are spreading a lot of this kind of stuff and are leaking a lot of things on Rule 34, then it is a big problem, and obviously something needs to be done about it. They say he also claims that every piece of fan art that I don't own has been removed from Rule 34, which is simply untrue. Even now, whenever you search for Saruei VTuber, you get redirected to his document, yet fan art of me is still visible by searching for tags like grey hair, red eyes, or scar across eyes. These are all beautiful pieces I haven't reported, which is why they remain available, and so he's spreading misinformation when he states all, when maybe it just got removed wrongly by cam order protection. So again, not every bit of fan art was actually removed, so again, obviously that was false too. He said, I'm completely fine with fan arts of me being on the website, as long as it's not leaked. Content was originally behind a paywall, and obviously they put up evidence of that happening there, of them searching up, you know, red eyes, scar across eye type thing. Obviously, I can't show that either. So again, they say, when filing a DMCA claim, you usually have to dox yourself, such as give your name, surname, and address. That's why people don't bother doing it. Or they hire a company to take it down for them. For my case, cam order protection. As far as I know, nowhere on his website has he claimed that these pieces of information were not needed to take down posts, and if he did, then it's not made clear. At the end of the day, I understand his frustration with how poorly cam model protection handled the situation. However, I wish he could have understood my perspective, which 100% true. I think they went very, very quick and jumping the gun as to kind of attacking Saruei for this kind of stuff. As I said, it could have just been a misunderstanding, and obviously it has been a big misunderstanding. And obviously now it's kind of turned into the situation that it has now, which obviously is very disappointing. They say, it's incredibly frustrating to remove the same leaked videos and content month after month for an entire year now. I hesitated for a while before deciding whether to address this situation. As you saw in my earlier post, speaking up means directly acknowledging and in a way promoting exclusive paywall content from the platform. Not just mine, but other creators as well. So yeah, obviously it's kind of tough whenever this kind of stuff comes down, because you can expose it, right? You can say, hey, you know, this is going on, it's not good enough, I don't like it. But at the same time, you're also kind of promoting the fact that this is happening, and people who want that free content will obviously just go to that website, and then you're making the situation even worse, which I can understand why you'd be quite hesitant to kind of say anything. Said if Slayer Ducky truly cared about supporting artists and content creators alike, as he claims he wouldn't allow categories like Patreon reward, Patreon exclusive, Patreon leak, or even fansly. So essentially saying that, you know, they should, you know, take down those tags, and said instead of letting users freely post whatever they want, you should take responsibility by reviewing each submission individually and ensuring the artist's consent before allowing it on his site. We shouldn't have to constantly monitor his website every time we release paywall content on our platform just to protect our work. So yeah, very, very interesting there. They also talk about their art contest as well. They said, and while we're at it, I recently came across a Reddit post spreading concerning misinformation, claiming that I scammed artists out of $5,000. This is completely untrue. The past art controversies was never about money. The issue was because some artists were upset that their submissions weren't showcased during the winner reveal stream. At the time, I had mistakenly assumed that some entries were traced and responded unprofessionally. I've learned from that experience and continue to work on improving how I handle situations. Obviously, they put all of this up here as well. They said $5,000 was the prize pool. Artists won, artists received their prize. But people have been spreading a lot of misinformation about it, saying that I scammed, robbed artists, got free art, which is untrue. I always pay my artists, and I still am working on a daily basis with them. So again, obviously, there's a link to a lot of the winners from the art contest, you know, talking about it. So again, that is the entire post from Saruei. Obviously, it clears up a lot of the stuff that has gone on, and obviously there's been a lot of misinformation and a lot of kind of just a lot of hostility towards Saruei, especially whenever it just seemed to be such a big misunderstanding. And obviously, it is true that some you know, posts were taken down unfairly, and that was due to whatever they're called, cam model protection. That is due to them and not due to Saruei. So I think going after her was a little bit too much. But at the same time, you know, she's completely entitled to take down paywalled content from the site. And I think just the site in general needs to be better moderated. They need better, more people, better systems, whatever it is, whatever it takes, literally anything. You know, it would just be nicer to see, you know, obviously this coming to an end, because even in this post, as we saw, you know, there is still hundreds, thousands, you know, tens of thousands of, you know, posts that have been leaking a lot of stuff, not just from Saruei, but from other people as well, you know, other artists, which obviously can affect them, especially monetarily. And yeah, overall, I think, a very good response there from Saruei. Obviously they took a little bit of time to cook that one up, because I was a little bit confused why they didn't like immediately respond. But again, obviously we have that response now. And yeah, honestly, I think that this kind of clears up a lot of the stuff. I think it's up to Slayer Duck now to kind of respond to this and to kind of, I guess, make the changes or not make the changes. And I think that's honestly going to be, where we really see what the future of this site's going to be like, and whether they are actually going to change this kind of stuff or not, because again, it's pretty bad. And I think that the situation over on that forum site is pretty bad at the moment, and if they don't change it, well, I think a lot of people are going to stop using it. But hey, for now, that is pretty much all we've got. And yeah, it's pretty kind of disappointing to see that this stuff is still going on. But thankfully, Saruei has cleared this up. And hopefully Slayer Duck responds maturely and not, in a aggressive manner like we've seen with the previous kind of post. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to Game Subs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off again. They got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.